what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow patriots. Yes, we have a lot to fear, and it starts with J and ends with N. It's Joe Biden. So, that being said, I find there's a video that's gone viral, and I wanted to address this first and foremost because apparently, suddenly, PITBULL, for those of you who don't know him, he is a Cuban rapper / R&B artist. A lot of people do not know he went to high school with me. I personally knew him. My brother owned a production company that used to make beats for him before he became famous. So I know everything there is to know about PITBULL. Now I'm going to read you. He is based on what he is saying right now in these comments that he said. And I'm going to let you tune in, and then I'm going to give you my feedback. Hold on one second.
Instant gratification thing, you can touch as many people with it as quick as they want to go. They can pull it from you. And right now we're talking about a virus? A virus, that's what we talk about. SARS, MERS, bird, swine, Ebola, now Corona. Like, come on, folks. I mean, you gotta read the tea leaves, bro. The devil's in the details. And with that said, if you look at the recovery numbers on what we're talking about, I don't know what it is, but I guess the flu went on vacation on this year. Heart attacks went on vacation this year. Everything went on vacation this year when it came to, I'm talking about, what we're going through right now. Right, okay. And let's just call a spade a spade. And the reason I can have this conversation is because my family comes from communism. They fled communism. They had everything taken away from them. Everybody got murdered. Everybody got killed. And
this clip just started going viral.
So, I'll go ahead and I'll start with this, right? So, PITBULL began talking about basically communism and whatnot. And then hold on, we'll go further into the video.
I know about this, but might as well put it out there, especially in y'all show, because y'all got folks that need this more than anybody. We all need it. There's a rehearsal that went on before this whole shit is called Event 201. October 18, 2019, this shit came out. It was ran by the Johns Hopkins University, which is in cahoots with Bill Gates, Melinda Gates Foundation. And this was a complete rehearsal of what we did right now. You can look at this up. So therefore, you have a segment where it says segment financial, what we going to do. Segment travel, what we going to do. Segment, what we going to do when it comes to online. And it said, if anybody is not a part of the narrative, we're going to take it off online, which to me smells like communism. Yeah. You feel me? And obviously that's what our families live through, and I'm sure all of our families have similar stories.
He's not lying.
Okay, now this is the interesting part.
Or maybe us being first generation Cuban Americans, I look at freedom and I appreciate that shit.
This is how us Cubans feel about the freedom that this country's given us, because all of our families came from a place that our freedom was stripped from us. My family had nothing. They had everything and they lost everything, and it was taken from them. So I understand what PITBULL's saying. 100% Chris Armando, his real name. But I'm going to let you continue.
I appreciate anything that you give me. All I need is a little slip, partner, and I got you. And that comes from the fact that when Castro took over everything, and I'm looking at what's going on right now, the only person here that's hot, 38 hot, is Castro. He's going, y'all did it with a virus? Shit. Y'all took over the world with a virus? Y'all gotta be kidding me. He had missiles pointed to the United States of America during the Russian Missile Crisis, during the Bay of Pigs and what they went on through. So this shit gets deep. The only thing is do you want to realize how deep it is?
Okay, so that was the clip that's been going viral of PITBULL talking all about this, right? Now, this is my biggest problem. And I agree with everything he's saying, and he's being extremely sincere. My biggest problem with all this is, yo, Pitt, where were you when you were criticizing Donald Trump in 2015? When you openly said, in a comment, when you were receiving an award in the Latin Grammy Awards, where you openly said we will not allow a racist to be president of the United States. Well, guess what? This racist was fighting against everything you are now preaching. Yeah, unfortunately, you made a mistake. Now, I understand people can't realize what somebody does at that time. The mainstream media has a really weird way of manipulating people, and it manipulates even celebrities. I mean, it's got everybody brainwashed. It's not just American people. It's got celebrities brainwashed as well. So, that being said, so I'm going to break down basically what he said. He was talking about how they practiced John Hopkins at hospital, everything that's happening right now with COVID-19. They pretty much had it practiced. And it's all involving Melinda Gates, Bill Gates, and the segments that it would take place during this sort of. And then he goes off on talking about Fidel Castro and how the censorship and how Fidel Castro was to look back and see some of these things. He would be like, damn, you guys did this all with a virus? That is clever. That's extremely intelligent. And apparently Pitbull has woken up to something, and he's finally seeing a vision similar to what happened in Cuba, just a lot more sophisticated here in the United States and at a worldwide level. Right? But again, I take you back to 2015 during the Grammys, when Pitbull was denouncing Donald Trump because he was winning an award and he wanted to please the crowd and please the people that were giving him that award. The hypocrisy of being part of that entertainment industry. Now, do I know Pitbull personally? I've had several conversations with him. He probably, I mean, this was years ago. I mean, honestly, I mean, this was before, I mean, he was going to bars at this point. I mean, was way before his stardom. But he's always been a pretty genuine guy. I will give him that. He's always been a guy that speaks his mind. And maybe at that time, Donald Trump was something that none of us saw coming. A lot of us didn't know what to expect. A lot of us gave him the benefit of the doubt, and we were on the right side of history. But apparently Pitbull right now is woke. And Pitbull's realizing, damn, Joe Biden's a fucking problem. Wrecking Ball Joe is a serious problem for this country, and this country is leading towards the direction of censorship and leading towards the direction of communism, and it's scaring the shit out of anybody who's experienced that in their life. So today I had somebody ask me this simple question: what can we do about it? His name's Jason. He sent me a message. He goes, but what can we do about this? The only thing we can do about this is make people aware. Spread the word. Let people know about my podcast. Let people express their feelings on my podcast so they can continue to spread the word. And if somebody has information they want to give out, they can give it out through my platform. We continuously keep spreading the word. And obviously, if it ever gets to a point where we have to fight back at some point in time, then so be it. I mean, that's the destiny. I mean, that is what our founding fathers gave us that Second Amendment right for, and that's exactly what it's for. It's to fight against tyranny, and it's to defend us against our own government, as sad as it is to say, but that was the whole creation of the Second Amendment, to make sure that we could protect our country and our freedom and our civil liberties. So that being said, again, I agree with everything Pitbull's saying in that comment. Pitbull was on point. About COVID-19, it was this manipulated a manipulated virus that was created to create havoc, to make sure that this I came in like a wrecking ball. Joe Biden can get into office. That's what it was. Simple as that. There's no other ifs, ands, or buts about it. They did it because of that. They found a way to rig the election. Now, we have our guest, the one and only Dr. Q.
Dr. Q! What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm doing good. Late again. Another late night. Not as late as it was the other night. Like
Yeah, I mean,
1:30.
We definitely work this 24/7. By the way, guys, I've been getting messages from people saying that they can't find my store. Apparently, my store is being some sort of, like, I guess they're shadow banning it or something, or you can't look it up through search engines. So you guys understand, it's www.therepublicannation.store. Therepublicannation.store. You're not going to be able to find it on Google. You're going to have to type it in directly into your computer because for some odd reason, they're trying not to sell my stuff. I have added a bunch of new stuff to it, a bunch of funny stuff, basically making fun of Joe Biden. And that's what I do. And I'm going to keep doing it. Q, what's the inside scoop of what's going on? A lot of weird events. Specifically, I know something that you know a lot about, which is Time Magazine. The issue with Time Magazine and what they released. Go on with your QAnon self.
Yeah, I mean, they actually admitted it. See, the thing is, what's happening here with Time Magazine and all the leftists, they think that they have this in the bag. They think Trump's gone, and they feel like real comfortable now. So they're letting everything out, and they admitted that they actually rigged the election, and they stole completely from him. And they actually admitted that. I couldn't believe that.
I mean, guys, we have a serious issue in this country. Right now, this country's on the brink of complete and utter, like, censorship, anti-Trumpism. Dude, these people are crazy. Joe Biden is literally telling his appointees to not talk to Trump appointees in the Pentagon. People that are bureaucrats. He's having the military vetted to see what military personnel supported Trump. This is a problem. If you think that a man won the election fairly would be afraid of his own military, that is a problem. When you are trying to scan and find out who in Washington, D.C. likes Trump, that is a problem. Because guess what? That is part of being a free man in this country, a free woman in this country. You are entitled to be part of whatever political party, and you are allowed to believe in whatever president you want and support whatever president you want. And one thing that's been offending me, it's been getting under my skin lately, is the way people call us Trump followers. It's been getting under my skin. Fox News does it quite a lot too. Right. So Fox News will be like, well, Trump followers are saying this. Listen, we're not followers. We support our president and we support our current president, which is Donald J. Trump. In my mind, Joe Biden is an illegitimate president. He's a president that's a cheater. He got in there because he cheated his way in there. He probably didn't even know they cheated. He probably was just an idiot that actually thinks he really won the election. A man that was never popular his entire life, ran for president 3 times, lost every single fucking time. Suddenly the man magically pulls off the biggest victory of history over a president that won 11 million more votes. Not likely, impossible. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So again, this is like a frustrating situation because everybody keeps calling us Trump followers. And then I get messages from people asking me what news networks can I listen to? Where can I get information? Ashley sent me a message. She's a listener. She sent me a message asking me, where do you recommend I get my information from? She goes, because I don't trust any network. Well, Ashley, guess what? You can't trust any network because they're all compromised. Fox News, Newsmax, OAN, they're all compromised. At the end of the day, it's a business. And they're going to do whatever it takes to make money. That's the bottom line. Is they're going to fit their narrative. And if their narrative, look at what happened to Newsmax. The Second Dominion files a lawsuit against them. They back off. They walk away from Mike Lindell. In the mid conversation, he's talking about the election fraud. They walk away from it. Fox News now, every time they talk about the election fraud, they go, the false claims made by Trump and his followers. Again, we're not his followers. We're patriots that love our president. Simple as that. So when you ask me, where do you want me to tell you where you're probably going to get the most accurate news? From small people like me. people that are going to do the research, people that are going to talk to people in the streets, people that are going to talk to local newspaper agencies and editors and stuff like that. Because where I get my information is from small newspapers, people that are investigative journalists. I dig, because that's the only way you're going to find the news that's going on, because mainstream, you're not going to find anything. Hello again. Okay, Danny D. Okay, so we're gonna have okay, we're gonna go to a question from one of okay, whatever. We'll get there. We'll get there soon. But Q, what do you have any inside information? Anything new that's going on? Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Well, guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media, the middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
I mean, it's all coming down to that executive order, the 13848, on that Donald Trump signed for imposing certain sanctions in the event of foreign interference in the United States election. So, basically, it says no later than 45 days after the conclusion of a United States election, the Director of National Intelligence, in consultation with the heads of any other appropriate executive departments and agencies, shall conduct an assessment of any information indicating that a foreign government or any person acting as an agent or behalf of the foreign government has acted with the intent or purpose to interfere with the election. So just to make it real short, within 45 days of receiving the assessment, the information described, basically it gets to the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security, and they basically do obviously they have enough proof, then they do a full investigation, and then it says basically within 45 days of that, that's when they come up with their assessment, and the military has all the powers. So that's what's happening. And also, whoever they find that interfered, this is what I was trying to explain to you, what was happening in the stock market, is they are all these big corporations that are interfering in any way, whether it's social media, whatever the situation is, they are losing all their assets. And that's what this executive order does. It destroys them completely, all their assets. That's why they're trying to make the money up by fixing, the whole stock market. That's why all this BS is happening. And also, what I heard was, what's her name, Psaki, Jen Psaki, the press secretary.
Mm-hmm.
Her brother is a portfolio manager at a hedge fund, Citadel, which is the biggest one, and he was one of the short sellers that got crushed by GameStop thing.
Interesting.
So that's some serious shit.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you something that's very interesting. Apparently so. So you guys can have a little information on the downward spiral of this country. Okay, so we can get to the insanity of what's going on to this country. Apparently, under a Biden administration, you have to, by no means, you have to test negative to enter the United States of America, unless you're an illegal alien. Okay, so criminals are now that were detained under Trump's administration for committing crimes are now being released. I think this shit is backfiring on the Democratic side. I see more and more of the left seem to be waking up. They said that they were woke, but apparently they weren't woke enough. And apparently they're starting to see this is a problem for all of them. Okay, because now we have celebrities coming out of the woodwork saying, wait a second, this guy's not what we thought he was. You know, you have Greg Gutfield from one side that he's saying that basically the boogeyman now for the left is QAnon, right? And there was actually a recent study that was done, and you guys can actually check. You guys can check this study out. I'm not sure. I'm so full of information. I mean, I'm constantly reading, but there was a small study that the majority of the QAnon, the majority of people that were that learned about QAnon and were involved in all that stuff that came from QAnon, it actually spread through small YouTube channels. The majority of the people that believe in QAnon, it was actually spread through small YouTube channels. It wasn't actually something that was spread at like a widespread or large scale. It started off small YouTube channels, and if it went into fruition from there. So again, I mean, they're gonna villainize us. They're gonna continue this push of trying to censor us. I mean, you know, one guy that I have massive respect for is Trey Gowdy. If you guys really want to get, because I know that Ashley had asked me, Trey Gowdy has a podcast. He's probably a guy that you want to hear his podcast. You might want to hear Matt Gates' podcast. You mentioned a list there of people that you listen to. A lot of these people are compromised. Like people like Don Bongino. Not that they're compromised in a negative way. He's a patriot. He's fought for our country. Not militarily, but he was an NYPD officer, then became a U.S. Secret Service agent. But a lot of these people, whenever you see Fox next to their name, or they're in any which way connected to Fox News, you have to understand that they signed contracts. So they're limited on what they can say or what they can do, because they're under these contracts that they can't just go off the rails and just say what they really feel or report news that's contrary to what Fox News might be reporting. They can have their own twist to it, but they can't change the narrative. So if you really want to get the news, you got to look for these congressmen that are real hardcore America First congressmen. Matt Gaetz has an amazing podcast. Trey Gowdy has an amazing podcast. David Nunes has an amazing podcast. You want to go into these people that have been defending the president and has stood for the president since the beginning. Not new ones that are just suddenly. I would definitely not recommend you go into the Ben Shapiro's, because Ben Shapiro's a money making guy. I mean, the guy. I have massive respect for him because he has his intelligence level and his political background and his knowledge on politics is beyond my understanding, I guess. He knows it to a level where he can dissect anything. But the reality is he's not your average American. You want to try to get the news from people that understand American people, that understand us. Okay? And I would highly recommend that those are the people that you follow. Right now, people that I would actually engage in their podcast would probably be. And then if you want to go a little diverse and kind of get a mix of both worlds, Joe Rogan is also a pretty good option. Because Joe Rogan he's pretty fair and balanced. I understand a lot of people love Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson. I love them too. Laura Ingraham. I mean, I only watch those shows because they're in those shows. But you have to understand, these people are under contract for millions of dollars. They're not going to disobey their bosses. Would you? Would you risk losing your money? They're limited on what they're going to say. I mean, we already saw what they did to Lou Dobbs. They canned him only because he spoke the truth. He was one of the main guys supporting the entire election fraud scheme. We now know Time Magazine released several statements that were made that big corporations were actually involved in robbing this election. They were censoring information. They were funding Joe Biden's campaign and funding campaigns everywhere. They literally interfered with our election. And that is exactly what they did. So, that being said, We're right now at a crossroads in our country where everything is really actually being controlled by social media. And the only real solution, but no one's going to do this, the only real solution to this is stop using social media. Because at this point, we have no platform for us. There is absolutely no platform for social media. And we're going to be censored every single day, everywhere we go. I mean, listen, I have to be walking on my tippy toes when I'm streaming live because I know that I'm on a platform that's owned by Jeff Bezos, Twitch. I mean, not this podcast, because on this podcast, I let loose and I say what I really feel. Thankfully, I haven't been banned as of yet. We'll see. But I will always speak the truth and I will always speak what's on my mind. I don't give a fuck. But that being said, for example, I'm on Twitch. There's terms of services on Twitch. You can't say anything on Twitch that violates terms of services. They can tell you everything you want. If a left-winger's debating you, he can call you anything he wants. The second you strike back with facts, they can say it was offensive, and boom, in a matter of a second, they ban your account for 30 days like they did to me with no explanation and no reasoning behind it. And this is the country we're living in. A country where freedom of speech no longer is a freedom. Freedom of speech no longer exists. Section 230 needs to be repealed. It needs to be repealed. And I admire Governor DeSantis for the fact that he wants to fine any platforms that censor people in the state of Florida. I highly respect that move. I think it's a smart move. I think we need to start holding these big tech companies accountable. They are the dictators. They are the most dangerous people. I said this once in my podcast. I remember when Mark Zuckerberg stood in front of the Senate and Mark Zuckerberg wanted to make his own currency. And I said, oh my God, this guy is becoming more and more dangerous every single day. And as he openly admitted in the Senate that he has artificial intelligence that can actually predict something before it even happens. He was almost like bragging that his technology is more advanced than the military's technology. He practically bragged in front of the Senate floor with this. This is dangerous. This is a lot of power to give a little pompous little asshole like Mark Zuckerberg. Just saying. It's a lot of power. Q, you back?
Yeah, so I don't know if it was BitChute or Rumble, but there's a video going around basically stating what happened on January 29th when I told you about where the White House, the Capitol went out, blacked out for 3 hours, and then they seen a bunch of big, white vans and buses there. And what they said in this video is they're saying on January 29th, they busted many Congress, and they also saved over 100 kids that were underground underneath the White House in the tunnels. They said that they've been there. They've been sexually abused. They've been using them for, the whole androchrome, just Satanism, all kinds of crazy stuff they were saying. There's actually a video on it. It's pretty intense. Listen to it real quick.
Well, you're gonna put it on?
Yeah, I got it on now.
Were being delivered. Multiple troops were seen coming out of the White House with at least 100 children in tow. The children were believed to have been sexually abused, tortured, and killed by political elites in an elaborate tunnel system that ran beneath Capitol Hill and connected to other systems for 200 miles. All was thought part of an international child trafficking ring run by global and political elites with ties to Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile island that lay next door to Joe Biden's Water Island. A couple of days later, in the early morning hours of Monday, the 1st of February, and with the U.S. functioning under martial law, Joe Biden and 464 elected government officials were said arrested and released inside the Capitol Hill area. Capitol Hill had been surrounded in 8-foot high barbed wire fencing since Inauguration Day. 20 Jans off Washington, D.C. remain guarded underneath the White House. Black vans and buses with darkened windows picked up the children for medical treatment and debriefing. Evidently, they discovered multiple corpses and a lot of body bags were going into the area. Since October 2019, tortured, malnourished children and corpses in the tens of thousands have been found in a sophisticated network of deep underground military bases, dams that ran beneath the US, Canada, Mexico, Australia, Asia, and across Europe. For over a year, U.S. Special Forces have been in training for the rescue missions, which began on October 16, 2019, with the rescue of caged babies and children beneath the China Navy facility in California. A military operation of 10,000 Marines and Navy SEALs rescued an unbelievable 2,100 children being held in cages in underground tunnels of China Lake. The children and teens were said to have been sexually abused, tortured and killed to collect their dreaded bones. Marines, Navy SEALs rescued 2,100 caged children, teens. Other military operations have recently taken place to rescue children. October 31st, 2019, thousands of children rescued from torture by global elite pedophiles. April 9, 2020, over 35,000 malnourished caged children rescued out of U.S. tunnels by military. April 21st.
Remember, I was telling you about the dumps?
April 21st.
They're being exploded?
I'm hearing it. What is this source?
What was that about?
What is the source?
It's either Rumble or BitChute. I forget which one it is.
I mean, again, where are they getting their sources from?
I mean, they're usually pretty on point when it comes to this, and they're showing pictures of the White House and everything. They're showing how they basically the back of the White House they dug everything up. That's what they were doing the whole time.
Well, I can tell you something. If perverted Biden doesn't get any worse, he continues to do his little perversions. Today, he literally looked at a nurse, and apparently this is his way of flirting, I guess. He looked at a nurse, and he actually told the nurse, "Hey, you look like a college freshman." I mean, this guy just doesn't stop. Like, if you guys don't see pedophile written all over his face, I don't know what else.
Pedophile all day and all night, man.
I mean, look. I mean, our country right now is I don't know if anything can save this country, man. On one side, you have the Democrats that are literally addicted to impeachment, almost like that's their heroin. Then you got oil that it's hitting its 1 year high on supply cuts, and they're hoping the stimulus helps. I mean, I'm already noticing the gas prices changing here in Florida. I don't know about you, Q, in Philly. It's going up. I mean, it's going up. I mean, pretty much Joe Biden's defunding ICE, giving immigrants, he's putting America last, immigrants first. This shit is upside down. This is not the way America's supposed to work. You know what? And I blame every fucking dumbass Republican senator out there that never backed Trump on his accusations. They know they fucked up. Mitch McConnell knows he's fucked up. That's why he voted and he said that it was unconstitutional after he was all for the impeachment. Now he's seeing Chuck Schumer's pretty much finding the go around, and they don't care about what he has to say. They're playing politics with him, and they've got the Senate, they got the House, and they got the presidency. And now Mitch McConnell has nothing. Nothing. And with rhinos like Susan Collins and Mitt Romney, who I hope, I mean, a little too late, he won his election this year. So, I mean, again, we're kind of stuck with him for 6 years. It would have been nice to see him get primaried, but again, we're really in a tough situation in this country. I don't think people have realized how tough the situation. I mean, at least one thing I can't say for certain. The judge, I'm not aware of who the judge is, but the judge that's handling the case on Ghislaine Maxwell, she's pretty rough. I mean, she keeps rejecting every bid that just every motion that she's filed to try to keep her deposition sealed, she's rejecting. So this judge apparently wants the truth to come out. I don't know how damning Maxwell's information can be, but apparently
Every one of those Democrats, I guarantee it's that damn evidence, guaranteed.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know yet until it gets released. It's stupid to it's stupid to assume anything. But I mean, one thing we do know is everything's upside down. Everything is weird. Everything in this country doesn't feel right. I don't feel like I'm living in America, and I know other Americans out there feel the same way. And again, I'm just gonna try to be the voice for you guys, and I'm gonna try to, and I have actually an email that I received from one of our listeners. Q, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, buddy.
Q, I said, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, this is from Danielle. Okay. She titled it "My Fellow Americans." I can already say it's going to probably be a good email. Hello again. I would like to start with talking about Lin Wood. I think he really speaks a lot of the truth, which any person will sit there and say Lin Wood is crazy. Can you believe what he's saying? I think he's actually is coming from a good place. I don't believe anything he is saying is a lie, even though people would like to make it seem that way. Lin has a pristine record, and he's represented some of the craziest cases in the United States, from John Bennett Ramsey to Richard Jewell. The Ramsey case still unsolved supposedly, but I believe that case has something to do with children's sex scandals, trafficking. Richard Jewell was corruption and set up trying to pin it on innocent man. So I think the things that Lin Wood has seen or heard may be too unbearable for any one of us to believe is real. That's why I believe him 100%. The elites are probably so sick and demented that no average person could ever fathom what they have done. I know everyone wants to rope him into the Q conspiracies, but I think it's things he's seen with his own two eyes. As of March 4th, it would be a glorious day if the Q conspiracies come true. It's getting harder to believe. My thoughts, if there was something so thought out and this crazy mission to take out corruption, wouldn't it be top secret? How would average people know about it? How would Joe Biden be in Castle Rock without anyone knowing, or the left not going berserk on CNN? Wouldn't CNN want to ruin any plan Trump has? Wouldn't Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and them know the Insurrection Act was signed? It's all so confusing, and like Jase, and I'm a realist as well. Even though sometimes my optimism gets the best of me, I actually have seen the videos of the mock White House. You can find them on YouTube. Please explain how, if this is the greatest thing to ever happen, how it's not completely top secret. Thank you, Danielle.
Let me. So, from what I've heard is everything's almost finished. That's why, again, we know what's going to happen. We just don't know when, and we don't know who. We know who, but we don't know when it's going to happen to them. So, there's nothing that anybody can plan. But from what I understand, it has happened already. There's like a few more bad actors, that's it, that they're going to take down. And that is it. I think we should definitely have some disclosure very, very soon. And I know we keep talking about it. But like I said, it's almost completely over now.
Did you understand any bit of her question? Yeah. Apparently not. She is asking basically, how on earth would you know something, and how would the average American or QAnon conspiracy theorists know this information that supposedly is top secret, yet Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden are all at Castle Rock. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's noticed it. Nobody has gone over there to check it out. I mean, it's a very good question. And Q, I would like you to answer to me. I'm quite curious because I've always believed, I will agree with you, Danielle. Lin Wood is far from being crazy. I just believe Lin Wood has all the evidence in his hands, and he's trying to express it to the American people, and it's sounding like he's crazy because he's seeing it all in front of his eyes, but we're not. And he's dissected this, to the point where he knows everything that went on, and it's hard for the American people to understand that our government can be that bad. But that being said, Q, I mean, why wouldn't they be doing something to try to stop this? Why are they acting as if everything is normal? If the plan was going to happen, why didn't it happen earlier? Why didn't Trump do it while he was president?
This was well. Everything's done for a reason and at a certain time, and he had to make sure certain crimes were committed before he could pursue certain aspects of this whole investigation and takedown. So it's very calculated. I mean, it's being calculated. I mean, it's been set up, from what I understand, for over 20 years. Little by little, they were setting things up. I'm just saying, it's been ready.
This is where you lose me, Q. It's part of the plan. It's part of the plan, and you guys seem to keep coming up with this narrative that it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. See, the problem is that this is all talk but no evidence, and this is where you cause confusion with regular Americans because nothing you've said has happened. Nothing. You have no credible evidence on anything. You have nothing.
Right. That's the problem, is the media will not show any of it. They are blocking everything, even Fox. Every damn media station is blocking it all.
Okay, so if they know this is going to be exposed, why would they try to block it? If they know it's going to be exposed and everyone knows it's going to be exposed,
because
what do they gain from that? They would be obstructing justice and they would be part of the enemies.
The media's going down too. And that's the thing, is they've been doing this for decades, okay? And it's been working for them. So they think they're going to get away with it again. They think they can just hide it under the rug and nobody's going to, really pursue it.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Oh, it is.
I've always said you have a very strong...
Donald John Trump incited the erection.
I love you too, but
you're not my type. I'm sorry. I think you have an erection for Donald J. Trump, and you gotta go back to reality, man. There's nothing going on, Q. There's nothing really. There's nothing going on. The reality is that March 4th and March 6th is going to come and go. And then what are you going to tell me come March 4th? What are you going to...
I've heard the last 2 years, have you heard so many top CEOs resigning? Do you understand? They don't just do that, okay? They're resigning because they are caught and they are pushed to resign or be exposed or go to jail, whatever the situation. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of deal they made with them, but that is why these people are resigning. It's been thousands of top executives all around the world, and you cannot deny that.
It hasn't been thousands. The ones that I've read, it's been a couple, but it hasn't been thousands.
No, because you just started reading about it.
I didn't just start reading about it. I research my stuff. Listen, don't try to play your QAnon bullshit with me. I call it for what I see it. You have not yet to prove anything to me. You have not yet to prove anything to me.
So far, there's been 14,000 resignations.
14,000 resignations.
Yes.
All right, name 10 of them just off the bat.
Jonathan Ford, Centrica, UK. Tim Carrier, Mayor, Mazzina, USA. Vic Bradley, Chairman, Golden Lake Exploration Incorporated, Canada. Heather Steins, State Senator, U.S. Senate, U.S. Obviously, Gina Haspel, Director, Central Intelligence Agency, U.S. Naveen Anand, CEO and President, Hallmark Financial Services. Tim Reedon, Constellus Group, USA, he's CEO. I mean, I can just keep going on. Like, that's just.
I mean, you didn't name 10.
I didn't name 10? It sounded like 10 to me.
Come on, man.
Charlie Button, CEO, Regional Rental Center, USA. Michael Pack, CEO, U.S. Agency.
Oh, shit. You forgot to add one in there. Dr. Q, the Republican nation, fired.
I mean, Jay, trust me.
I mean, look, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. I'm optimistic. I mean, listen, I'm only going to be happy if this happens. But the reality is, I don't foresee, if he would have done the Insurrection Act, he would have done it at that moment before the inauguration took place. And he would have had military confiscating every single thing and making the arrest at that point in time. He would not be doing it from his resort in Mar-a-Lago. I'm sorry to tell you, man. It's the reality. When Joe Biden put that hand on the Bible, it's over. It was over. We gave the White House to a senile Satanist.
Not a Bible. I'll tell you right now.
What's that?
That was not a Bible.
That was his family Bible.
No, I heard it was actually Masonry's Bible, and you could see it was upside down, with the cross was upside down.
Actually, you want me to tell you something? Coincidentally, as weird as it sounds, I have the exact Bible he has. I bought it from an antique shop, and it's actually a Bible that's pretty old. It's about 200 and some odd years. I bought it in an antique shop. So, yeah, that was a Bible because I've seen the exact same Bible because I own it. So, and I have it here as a collectible in my office. So, yeah, it was a Bible. So whatever you're talking about, Masonic or whatever the hell you're trying to...
Send me a picture of that one. So I can't debunk it. Send me a picture of that one. So.
I mean, I will. I mean, I can just tell you that the best thing Americans can do right now is continue to voice out their opinions, continue to stick together, continue to have hope and faith, continue to fight for this country, because this country's fought for us. Always stand by our president, Donald J. Trump. I mean, Joe Biden, look, I have accepted Joe Biden as president of the United States. Now, he's not my president. I didn't pick him. I didn't vote for him. I feel like he's illegitimate. But right now, he's commander-in-chief of this country. Whether people like it or not, that is the reality of it. But that being said, in a positive way, I think this will have positive effects for the future. I think this man is going to destroy the Democratic Party. As you can see, the Democrats continuously keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. They keep playing these little games and they keep getting caught. AOC being the perfect example, and her little fake cry that she did, and apparently she was in a completely opposite building. And CNN actually tried to defend her, but yeah, it didn't work out. Now there's memes all over the place. They even put her next to JFK. I was so scared I was right next to him. I'm seeing memes everywhere. By the way, you owe me $1,000 for that because JFK's dead.
No, I'm not going to owe you nothing. You're going to owe me. You're going to owe me double because you're going to owe me what I paid you, and then you're going to owe me on top of that.
That's not double, dummy. First and foremost, that's just my bet money. Because I already received that money, so that's not double. I'm just returning. And then, but it's not going to happen because you're not going to win the bet.
It's going to be double paid because I'm getting the money back plus your money.
I mean, I'm glad that you live in this fantasy land. I really am. I mean, I'm glad that you can. I'm glad that you actually live in this fantasy land where you think that this is going to take
your
place.
Listeners are going to hear it. They're going to be like, "Oh my God, Jase owes him $10,000."
I mean, again, it would be pretty funny, but it's not going to happen. What's going to be funnier is when you have to write me, or not check, when you're going to have to wire me. So anyways, this is just, I can't believe you continue to place bets. Ladies and gentlemen, when this man loses his business, I told him so. Just letting you know. I've compromised with him. Look, I'm willing to offer it to you again. You want to cancel the March 4th bet?
No way.
You don't want to cancel the bet. I'll take lunch instead of the bet. You buy my lunch tomorrow while I'm streaming, and we're good to go.
What are you saying March 4th? We never said March 4th, Jay. We said that he will be president again. That's what I said.
You said you said he would be inaugurated in the following month, March 4th. I mean, it's live on the podcast.
Never said an exact date ever, and I made sure that.
So what? So it could be 2 years from now, or 4 years from now when he reruns for president.
No. I'm not saying that at all. Definitely.
You said in the next month. So.
Yeah, okay, but it's not going to be March 4th. You know, and I'm just saying.
Didn't you just say they were going to inaugurate on March 4th?
I did not say that. I said that's what's supposed to be, but we can never count on that, and you know that, Jay.
Well, I mean, isn't that the original constitutional date of the inauguration? Isn't that what your QAnon is spewing out there?
This whole timing thing, you know, it's been way off. So I would not take a chance with that. Say that. No way, no how.
I mean, I know you're gonna owe me in March $2,000. I don't know. You can hold it back as long as you want. But before the end of March, you're paying me. I'm telling you right now. Before the end of March, you're gonna pay me that money. Because I mean, this is just ridiculous. You got to learn your lesson. At some point, I got to teach you a lesson here. I mean, I don't know how much more hits you can take to your bank account, but I mean, between that, I mean, and I'm talking about the bet that we made on the whole inauguration thing. That was a separate. Oh no, the White House bet. That's the one that was supposed to take place in March. That the White House is not going to be in D.C. It's going to be in somewhere else. You didn't say Mar-a-Lago. We left it open in case it's not Mar-a-Lago, but you said the White House would be located somewhere else. Guys, look, if you do not think this sounds ridiculous, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is what QAnon keeps spewing. This is what the group of QAnon keeps spewing. It's good to be hopeful, but it's also good to be realistic and
100%.
not be dragged into these conspiracy theories that are not going to happen. They're not.
Donald Trump is president. When he becomes president again, very soon, he will not be at the White House in Washington, D.C.
Come on, man.
Get used to that voice.
Come on, man.
That's the voice of your president right now. That's your president right there. You want me to look?
Come on, man.
That's Joe Biden. That's the current sitting president. We didn't vote him in. We despise him. He's going to destroy this country, but he is the president of the United States right now. The illegitimate president of the United States, but nevertheless, the president of the United States. You guys have been wrong on everything you've said. The QAnon conspiracies have been wrong every which way. You guys have nothing. I thought, let's just go to the fact that yesterday you didn't even know what the Mike Lindell information was.
Listen.
All right, and then we spoke about it. You said you.
1:30 in the morning, we're doing a podcast.
Listen.
I didn't listen to it. I just did. Look thoroughly.
You asked me when we spoke on the phone. You asked me right before the podcast. I go, so what are you planning on talking about? And I go, I like playing it by ear. I like to play it. I go, but we're definitely going to talk about Mike Lindell's video. And I asked you, did you see it? And you go, yeah, of course I saw it. And then as soon as you didn't see shit.
I think what it basically was portraying, but I didn't really look at the whole thing. But I mean,
okay, listen. You saw. I know how you work, Q. You only watch videos that are 10 minutes long. That's your attention span. It's 10 minutes. Yeah. And it has to be QAnon conspiracies. If it's actual facts, if it's... what?
If you only knew. Right.
Well, Mike Lindell put it out there. He was brave enough to put it out there, like the actual legislative laws that they broke, the actual intel that he had for the Dominion systems, the way that it went through different countries. I mean, he played it out perfect, and you didn't even look at that. But you'll go look at a video of somebody telling you that JFK's still alive. I bet you right now, if I show you a video and I tell you, listen, I got an inside scoop that this guy's JFK Jr., look, I got the video. It was sent to me by top secret people. And I put it into a Dropbox file, make it look like it's encrypted, give you an entire little thing. You'll be like, oh, shit, I got some time. And then you'll start spewing that shit, too.
I think so.
I'm telling you, I want to know who the guy is that got you into QAnon, because that guy is the best con man I've ever met in my life. I mean, he's made you bet all your savings. I mean, he's made you... This man must be the best con man on the planet. On the planet.
Like I said, it's all going to come out very, very soon.
Again.
I know. Hey, and I'm the same way, you know? It makes you, like, wonder, like, what the fuck, you know? When's this going to come the fuck out?
You know what? I'm gonna start calling it's always gonna be Wrecking Ball Joe, but now you're also gonna be Wrecking Ball Q.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Because that's exactly what you're doing in your bank accounts with all these fucking bets that you're making.
I totally disagree, because, like I said, it's like having a savings account. That's all. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, you're filling up people's savings accounts. You're right.
That money and some, so it's all good. Do I seem like I'm worried at all? Not at all. That's how positive I am this is going to happen.
I mean, this is just so crazy. Continuously, the more I see stuff that Hunter Biden's still doing business, I mean,
all you see is what they want you to see, Jay.
No, man, I'm looking at it from a non-bias. I mean, I look at every single fucking... It's crazy that Hunter Biden is still doing business with China, and they're just allowing it, man. Even Kamala Harris's niece is making money. She called out Tom Brady yesterday. She called out Tom Brady because he wasn't wearing a mask. Well, guess what, bro? Tom Brady knows it's bullshit. He knows COVID-19 is bullshit. That's why he wasn't wearing a mask. He's a grown-ass man. He knows what the fuck is going on. What is the point of wearing a mask if you're going to spend the entire day fucking playing a sport that is hands-on with a bunch of different people on the field? It's stupid.
All right, I'm gonna stop this really quick.
All right, go, stop it.
Tom Brady might love him as a football player.
I'm going to tell you right now, before you say the stupidity that you're about to tell, you will lose a lot of your QAnon supporters if you say what you're about to say.
All I'm saying is that you think these people are all good, all these idols, but you're going to find out the truth about them. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, because the ridiculous accusation you made earlier today, that is just, don't even put that on the air. It would make you look just like a clown.
I'm just telling you, everyone, if your listeners don't know anything about this, I'm sure they do already by now.
Dr. Q's a clown.
No, they're going to find out that all your idols are not what you think they are.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, do you think it might look House of Cards? I mean, I knew Kevin Spacey was a homosexual because he came out of the closet or whatnot. I didn't care about that. But I mean, I loved Kevin Spacey. Would I have ever thought he was a rapist? No.
Jay,
so idols, yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done bad shit. Absolutely.
No,
there's a lot of evil in this world.
Crimes against humanity, Jay. Okay? Every one of these idols, every damn one of them. Hollywood, sports figures, every
Listen,
one of them.
Sports figures don't need to be part of any group. They're athletes. They have something called talent, which apparently you have none.
And listen, I understand about the talent thing, but you have to understand, for you to get into that circle.
You don't need to do anything to get into that circle. If you have talent, you get drafted, and if you get drafted and you're good, you end up having a great career. That's it. Okay. You're trying to throw in sports now with the elites. Maybe I can believe the elites part because everybody everybody can act. It's not a difficult thing. I did it myself in the past, and I was damn good at it. I still didn't make it into Hollywood. So there's millions of me that know how to act and know how to do film. They don't make it. Yeah, there's a possibility that there's something going on in Hollywood that a few chosen ones end up making it on the big screen where others don't, or lousier actors end up becoming famous and no one knows how the hell they even got there because they suck. I can believe that. But athletes, guys with natural talent, that they're there because they're talented as hell and they get, I mean, this is so far-fetched. But Q, do you want to end the show with something? Because we're already at 59 minutes, 48 seconds, and you are killing my brain cells. So do you want to end it with something?
Well, I'm just saying, I didn't sit there and give any accusations. All I'm saying is they're not what you think they are, and you're going to find out. That's all. That's it.
Okay, well, my closing statement's as follows, guys. Again, I said this on yesterday's podcast. Crazy times. This impeachment, don't let it get you down and out. This is what they want you to do. They want you to lose hope in Donald Trump. They want you to lose faith in the Republican Party. They're trying to villainize the Republican Party. We're hearing people like AOC, Imar Omar saying ridiculous comments like that we know that there's people in the Republican Party that are white supremacists. I mean, I could say that there's a bunch of people on the left that are part of the Muslim Brotherhood. But me saying it as a Republican, I'd be attacked. But of course, them being progressives and Democrats, they can say whatever they want. Don't listen to what they're saying. They're trying to villainize us as a group. And all Americans that voted for Trump, the majority of them, and most Republicans, they just love this country, the Constitution, and the freedom that this country provides us. We just want to be happy. We just want to go on with our lives. We want the best for our kids. We want the best for our country. Plain and simple. We're not bigots. We're not racist. Most of us just work, come home, take care of our kids, play with our kids, and try to make the most out of this short life that we all have. That's all we want. But unfortunately, the left, they want to villainize us and villainize the Republican Party. Do not believe a word the mainstream media is saying about Republicans or anyone out there until you personally can fact check it, because they are making everything up. Everything that is coming out of these people's mouths is a complete and utter lie. I have been able to debunk so many different things that the mainstream media has said and done that it's beyond my understanding that somebody as simple as me can go in there and debunk it in less than 5 seconds. It's crazy. That being said, guys, do not forget to show a little support to the show. I don't want to be one of these guys that supports that tries to push profits or anything. What I do is I sell merchandise in my store, and that's what keeps this system going, and that's how I can continue to grow this platform that I'm trying to grow. The audience is growing, and I thank you guys for spreading the word. Spread it to everyone you know. But if you guys can buy some merch, you guys can buy some cool stuff. Every day I'm adding products to the store. The store again is www.therepublicannation.store. And you guys will find some unique stuff, things that no one else has. And you could also get some cool Republican Nation gear. And you can send me the Facebook pictures and I'll post it up on my Instagram page, or I'll post it up on Facebook or all my social media outlets. Because you know what? I take great pride in my listeners, every single one of you. And I will always be your voice. So whenever you have something to say or something you want to scream out loud, feel free to email me at jase@therepublicannation.com, or you can email Dr. Q, DOCTORQ at therepublicannation.com. He's been feeling lonely. He's not getting many emails. So if you guys can show him some love. But that being said, I'm always going to be your voice. I'm always going to say what I feel is right. I'm not going to be silenced, and I'm going to fight for you guys. I don't care. I will make everyone's voice heard. Whether it takes me a long time to get to your email, your voice will be heard. Thank you. God bless. God bless you, your family, and this beautiful country we call America.
will make America great again.